Previously, we introduced task types and how they're used when authoring tasks. In this chapter, we will demonstrate how to author a basic task, including a task type. Let's go over how you can add a simple Hello World task to a single subproject. We can start by looking at the Gradle docs. We can search for task and click on Writing Tasks and scroll to the top. Custom tasks you author will have to use the task type. You can either use a built-in task type provided by Gradle Build tool or author your own task type that extends from DefaultTask. While we'll go over both of these, we'll start with the second one, which is learning how to author our own task types by subclassing DefaultTask. If we look at the example in the docs, we can create an abstract class which extends from DefaultTask. It will have a function annotated with task action, and then we need to register a task that uses the task type using task.register. Let's create a simple Hello World task. To add this task for the app subproject, we can edit the build file for the subproject. I want to mention that for this simple example, we're adding the abstract class of the task type to the build file. However, it is recommended to put these custom task types in another location, which we will cover later in the training. We can add an abstract Hello Task class that extends DefaultTask. It will have a function for the action that will be annotated with task action. And this function will just print Hello World for now. Now we can register a task using this Hello Task type. We can run the task and see it prints Hello World. Now let's make the string that is printed configurable. That is, we make it an input to the task. If we look at the docs again, we can go to the section for task inputs and outputs, where we can see how to define variables in the task type class that can be annotated to indicate their inputs. And these variables can be used in the action. There are two different types of input annotations here. Let's go over each of them. We can define a variable called str and initialize it to Hello World. We can annotate it with @input, and now we can use it in the action. If we run the Hello task, we can see it still prints Hello World. Now let's configure a different value for the string to be printed. We can add configuration in the Hello task. Now if we run the action, we can see the new value is being printed. Often for inputs and outputs, properties are used instead of types directly. We will go into the details of properties later in the training. For now, let's take a look at using a property as an input instead of a string directly over here. We'll set the type to property of string. Property inputs and outputs have to be abstract, so let's add that over here. And since the contents of the property can be set, but we don't want the property object itself to change, we'll change this to val. We also need to change the annotation since it's different for properties. It has a get : in the beginning. Default values for property objects are set in a different way. We will remove this and have an init block where we can set the default value using the convention method on the property object. In the action, we can get the value on the property. Now, if we comment out this line and just run the task again, we can see it's printing hello world, which is the default value that was set. If we uncomment this, we can see it's printing out the new value that's set in the task. Next, we'll take a look at how we can use files for inputs and outputs.